long time no see. I'm coming to you from my camper on the west coast of Newfoundland in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador on the extreme east coast of Canada. And I thought I would film a little vlog or a little Flosstube to say hello, because I haven't said hello in ages. And right now Freya's over lying on the bed. My husband and my youngest son are out mountain biking. My middle son is in Air Cadet camp learning to fly an actual airplane. He's hoping for his private pilot's license to come this summer, or that's what he's hoping to have by the end of the summer. And my oldest son's at home looking after the cats. So we are away, we're on holiday, and I really wanted to touch base and say hello because I haven't done so in quite a while. And I thought I'd show you some stitching and some knitting and some crocheting today. So it's not going to be an entirely cross stitch heavy Flosstube. I have another piece that I'm cross stitching and I can't find it anywhere. My youngest son, bless his heart, is extremely tidy, and he had neatened everything up for us last night, and I have no idea where he put my second cross stitch project. So I'm going to start off with cross stitching, and then we're going to move to crochet and knitting. So if you're not interested in those, then you can just skedaddle and come back another time. So the first one that I'm going to show you, and it's a bit crumpled, the paper, it's well loved. It's by Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery, called the Perennial Flower Sampler, designed by Lori Pengilly. And this is the piece that I'm stitching. I think it's just gorgeous. This is originally stitched on what is it originally? Oh, here we go. It's originally stitched on 36 count mica by Cedar River Linen. I got to get my hands on some Cedar River Linen one of these days. And the floss is Valdani, is what was originally used. I'm using Brennan needle, so let's get that out. I apologize, it is not ironed because I am camping. And I tend not to iron before I show you anyway, which means it's quite the mess. Let's have a look. Yay! Oh, I almost need something behind that, so let's try this. There we go, that's better. So this is on a 32 count linen by Brennan Needle, which is me. I'm the fabric dyer. And that color, so just to concentrate on the color for a minute, is called Mish. And I'm using Brennan Needle flosses. I've converted, and I've got one of my ladies done right there. My beautiful house. This piece is all finished, this motif. This one's finished. This one's finished. This one's not. And then I've started on the word garden. Yeah. Really enjoying this. I think it's turning out great. Very happy. So I'm going to do some stitching now in a minute. I've got my tea is steeping in this handmade in Newfoundland and Labrador beautiful potted piece. I can't remember the name of the potter. If I remember, because I looked on the bottom and it's not there. Isn't this a gorgeous mug? With my IKEA tea steeper in here. And I've got some rooibos tea because I can't drink black tea anymore. I'll tell you about that in a minute on a life update. And yeah, so that is my only stitching to show you. I'm back with my now, so I drink my rooibos. This is probably not the proper way to drink rooibos. I drink mine with oat milk, and I'll tell you why I'm drinking oat milk and not regular milk in my life update. Really yummy. Okay, I'll show you knitting first. So knitting is in this beautiful bag that Caroline at Evertote had sewn for me from my design from last July that I had stitched or designed for Canada Day for a collaboration with Evertote. And this piece has Pride of Place in there. So this is a knitted project. First I'm going to tell you about the yarn, if I have a yarn ball. No, I'm not going to tell you about the yarn because I do not have, I know it's a, oh yes I am. It's a DK Pure, 90% merino, 10% silk. It is by the Lori Robert collection of hand-dyed yarn. This is a Canadian option. And it is glorious knit up. The color I'm using is what? Oh, let me see here. Waterhouse is the colorway that I'm using. And this is a beautiful option if you're in Canada. And I wish we had feel-o-vision, because I wish you could feel this sweater. And before I show you the beautiful sweater and the beautiful this beautiful sweater and the beautiful color, this is the sweater that I am knitting, the adult playdate tee. This was available on Etsy. It's a paid pattern. I found it through Ravelry though, and it's just a simple summer tee, but I very well will, if I have enough yarn, and I should, I'm going to be knitting this. I'm hoping to knit this full sleeved. However, if I don't have enough yarn, it's going to look more like this, which is fine too. So here is the yarn, and that's showing pretty true to color. And it's, can you see that squish? It is so squishy and lovely. That gorgeous mix of merino and wool. It is a top-down knit. So I have knit this much so far. I know it's all in a, it's on a circular needle, so it's not, I'm going to do it this way so you can see. So I've knit this many. Because I'm a plus size figure, I have to knit, I have to have 39 of these in pattern, and I think I'm around 30 now. So I still have, I don't know, 10 or 12 more repeats to do of this before we start joining for the underarm. But I wish you could feel this. Look at that stitch definition, it's gorgeous. I love the way that the color is just variegating. I think this is just beautiful. So really happy with that. Just gotta grab, drop my another set of needles that I have in here for the neck and the bottom. If you hear that banging, that is just my screen door. It's a bit windy here, and the screen door is in the camper's banging, and I have to have the screen door closed. I don't want to have, I like having the airflow through the camper, but I don't want to have the screen door, the main door closed. And I'm putting up with the banging because there's a lot of mosquitoes, which we call nippers in Newfoundland and Labrador. The nippers is bad, so I'm leaving that alone. The next one I'm going to show you is a crochet project. This is the yarn. This is from Michaels, and it's kind of a mess. It's turning into yarn barf. Unfortunately, I pulled from the middle instead of the outside, and it's turning into yarn barf. This is a Karen Big Cake by Yarn Inspirations. The colorway is, let's see, Toffee Brickle. That's a cute name, Toffee Brickle. And here's the information on this in case you wanted to freeze me and have a look at that. So this, I'm going to show you what, I'm going to put in the screen what this was supposed to be, because I wanted a, and I still continue to want a crocheted vest to wear in the fall and winter. So this is, it's had a metamorphosis. So here is the, I started off with the granny square because I wanted a granny square vest, but I didn't like how the color was blocking for a vest on me. I'll just put this down. See, I just didn't like the way the colors, I wanted more, the colors to variegate more quickly than this is doing. So I've decided I'm going to keep the, because I put all the work into the granny square middle, or what was supposed to be a vest front for me. Because I'd done all that work, I'm going to now turn this into an Afghan. So now what I'm trying to do is figure out, so I've got one row of non-granny squares here. It's 2 double crochet in US terms. And now I'm putting double crochet in each stitch around, which is making it a bit wavy. So I may have to, I don't know if you can see that. See, it's making it a little bit wavy. So I'm not sure if I can keep that or not, but what I'm planning on doing is putting every 2 to 3 rows a different style of stitch, and then that's more dense than the granny square. So my goal is to have the granny square to be, as granny squares are, fairly holy, and then the rest of the Afghan to be much more dense. As I do like, I love granny square Afghans. I love stitching them. I love the ones that I have. I have 2 very, very special ones that my grandmother made me. But I do find you have to, I like to double them up to keep warm. I find that they have so many holes in them. They're not the warmest of blankets, and I want this one to be warm. I have another cake of this at home in the same colorway, and My, sorry, my husband is, he just said they're probably going to be closer to 3 hours on their mountain bike tour instead of, which is great. It gives me more time to stitch and talk to you. Because I'm going to drive to meet them. And I should probably respond back to him. I'll be right back. There, that's done. So let's go back to the, so I have a full granny square here. It's over 12 inches, 12 by 12 at this point. Just starting to add on a little bit of yellow over here. And otherwise you can see the pattern repeat. So it goes yellow, blue, gray, rusty, red, orange, then the yellow repeats. And I love the colors for fall, which is why I thought this would make a great crocheted vest, but I didn't like the block colors, as I said. So that's what I'm working on there. I'm very happy with that as well. And all in all, I'm very happy. So that is it for the craft portion of the of my Flosstube today. If you're interested in the life update, then carry on and stay with me. And hopefully you grabbed a cup of tea or coffee or something. It's a cool day today. That's why I'm drinking tea. We've had some rain this morning, so it's been a perfect day to stay inside and stitch. We've also had some really hot days, which were not perfect to stay inside and stitch. So I'll say goodbye to those of you who are heading off, and now I'm going to do a brief life update because I have no idea what I've updated you on in the past few months. Nothing I know because it's been a few months. So I guess a couple of things. One is that I've found out that I have some food allergies, which has exacerbated my eczema. And because of that, I am no longer drinking cow products. I can have goat and sheep dairy products, but I can no longer have cow-based dairy products, thus the oat milk. Black tea I'm very sensitive to, which is quite the crushing blow because I am quite the teaholic. So I've switched over to rooibos tea, and it is, I finally hit the point where it's satisfying. It took a while. I always had rooibos on occasion anyway, but black tea is definitely my favorite. So now I have a lot of black tea and don't know what to do with it because I can't drink it. So essentially these foods that I'm telling you about will flare up my eczema, and I have huge eczema patches on my legs. And this year they roam around my body depending where they're happening. So my other sensitivities are saffron, and I say sensitivity because it's a sensitivity as opposed to an allergy that could be anaphylactic or life challenging. So I'm also sensitive to saffron, pineapple, pumpkin. That kills me. I love pumpkin cheesecake. What else? I mentioned pineapple, pumpkin, black tea, and eggs. Yeah, eggs. So I can have baked goods that have eggs in them, but I can't have a boiled egg or a fried egg. And it's actually the yolk that I have the most sensitivity to. So I can have angel food cake and I don't react. And like I said, any other baked good, but I couldn't have a straight up egg. And I have to be careful if I wouldn't have a flan or quiche or something like that, because it's pretty much straight up egg. So there's that. The other thing that I found out is that for anybody who has seen me in person or knows me over the past few years, you may have noticed that my mobility has been going downhill. I've been having and continue to have great difficulty with my left knee. I have gone to Stitch North at least 1 year with a cane. I didn't need a cane, I don't think, this past year. I'm also having some difficulty with my right leg, which is very, very frustrating, worrying, and upsetting. But I finally saw an orthopedic surgeon over the past couple months who has advised that at the ripe old age, and I'm being very facetious, I'm not old, but my knees apparently are. And I'm going to require knee replacement surgery on my left side and quite likely on my right side eventually as well. So I'm now in line. And the line in Newfoundland and Labrador for a knee replacement is 2 or 3 years. So I'm going to be in line for quite some time. One thing that is sometimes a possibility in this province is you can go to hospitals outside of the metro area of St. John's to have surgery, but my particular orthopedic surgeon doesn't do surgeries outside of St. John's. Therefore, I will be having my surgery in St. John's which is adjacent to the community that I live anyway. But it means that the waiting time then becomes that much longer, because I can't leave St. John's and go to another hospital where it might have been a lot faster. Enough about woes and health. What else is new? So we have been on this camping journey for this is now a week and a half. Back to work on Monday, but we're heading back tomorrow to get the camper cleaned up and cleaned out and get some laundry done, clean up the house, and then get back to work. So the end part of the holiday is coming. This is the longest that we've been in this particular camper trailer that we've camped with it's the three of us this trip. And it's really done well for us. So we're really pleased. One thing that we invested in this year, so every summer, if we can afford it, we're trying to invest in one thing that will improve the camper. The camper is a 2006, I believe, so it's at the age where everything is functioning really well. So the black water, gray water, you know, all the plumbing systems are working, the electrical systems and everything are working fine. The interior is in good condition, but I want it updated. But it's old enough that I don't mind updating, because if anybody buys this camper after us, it'll be unlikely. So they might, you know, they might. So last year we invested in putting in new cupboards and a butcher block table and a new stove, and we bought also a microwave / air fryer / oven that's also going to be going in. So that was our investment last year. This year our investment, both my husband and I use CPAPs for sleep apnea, and which means that we always have to go to an electrical site, and sometimes we want to do what's called boondocking. So just pulling over somewhere that looks pretty and camping there if we're allowed. And in Newfoundland and Labrador, often there are a lot of places where you are allowed to do that, as long as it's not on somebody's property. But we've been restricted because we haven't had electricity. So this year we've invested in about this big kind of battery system that will eventually hook up to a solar panel that we've also purchased to go on top of the camper. And it's allowing us so we can get up to 5 nights with both of us using it for CPAP only usage, which is excellent, because we still have the lights. The RV lights are still here as well, but there's not enough electricity from the RV battery to run our CPAPs for several nights in a row. So we can camp now up to 5 days. Obviously we still need water and such, but we can camp very comfortably for 2 or 3 nights before we have to go to the dumping station and those kinds of things. So we're absolutely thrilled. That's been really, really fun. Right now though, we are at a site that is, we're set up for electricity and water and everything. We are at the Prince Edward Campground in just outside, well, next to Corner Brook on the Meadows, Cox's Cove side of so we're on the north side of the river, and it's a Kinsman Park. I don't know anything about the Kinsman, but I can tell you that this park is lovely, very clean, really quiet, which we really appreciated. So other than that, everything is great here. Work is going great. Busy, very busy. Bit concerned about how many emails are going to be waiting for me when I go back on Monday after 2 weeks off. But I have had a wonderful 2 weeks off, and so is my husband. And my middle son is now back he was away at band camp for 2 weeks, and he's back and enjoying our holiday with us. So it's very strange to just have the 3 of us instead of 5. As I mentioned, our middle son is away. He is in Canada with Air Cadets. You can apply, and if you get through the many hoops that you need to jump through, you can apply to become a private pilot, get a private pilot's license, and that's what he's doing this summer. So he's passed one of his written exams, and his flying exam is coming up over the next week and a half. So wish him luck because he has worked really, really hard for this. And then eldest is coming home. He'll be coming home at the end of the month. He's home now on leave, but he's going to be coming home officially at the end of the month. He's moving from the regular naval forces to the Naval Reserves, where he's going to be working as a diver. And yeah, so he's going to be home in a few weeks, and at the same time he's doing that, he's going to be starting his engineering degree at Memorial University, which is the university here in Newfoundland and Labrador. So that's really neat. It'll be fun to have all 5 of them at home. I'm sure I'm not going to enjoy the fighting that will ensue sometimes, but it's going to be fun to have the 5 of them home. Anyway, I think that's enough nattering. I'm sorry it's been so long. It's been great to chat with you, and I will chat with you again soon.